Do you remember getting home from a long day at school, settling down in front of the TV, and tuning into your favorite cartoons? Well, what if I told you that behind the innocent facade of some of the world's most cherished childhood classics lies a world of controversy and scandal? Today, we're stepping back in time to explore the golden age of animation, an era of cartoons so compelling, yet so controversial, that they've become as rare as mythical creatures, rarely seen, but often discussed. Join me on another episode of Rerun Zone as we crack open the hidden vault of the Censored 11. From the 1930s to the 1940s, Warner Brothers created an empire of animation. Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, you name it. But 11 specific cartoons were yanked from the airwaves by United Artists in 1968 due to racially insensitive content. These became known as the Censored 11. So why are these classics now considered taboo? Couldn't they be edited to meet today's standards? United Artists didn't think so. Instead, they were simply removed from the public eye and haven't been seen on TV since. Let's dive right into these cartoons, look at their success, legacy, and impact on the animation world, and discover how something can be both a masterpiece and a cultural misstep. Back in 1931, a time when the animation industry was still in its infancy, Hittin' the Trail for Hallelujah Land emerged as one of the early entries in Warner Brothers' Merry Melodies series. Animated by Rudolph Ising, the cartoon was an intriguing blend of music, comedy, and cutting-edge animation techniques for its time. Hittin' the Trail was widely accepted when it hit screens back in 1931. However, its achievements are now overshadowed by its insensitive portrayal of African-American stereotypes. Next up is Sunday Go to Meetin' Time, a Merry Melodies installment that first graced screens on August 8, 1936. Crafted by the legendary director Friz Freleng at Warner Brothers' Termite Terrace studio, this cartoon epitomized the spirit and musical energy the Merry Melodies series was known for. At the time of its release, this cartoon, like many others in the series, was well received for its animated escapades set to toe-tapping tunes. Sunday Go to Meetin' Time drew criticism, though, for its use of blackface and other demeaning depictions of African-American characters. It's important to understand that animation didn't exist in a vacuum. It wasn't the only art form to fall under criticism for its depiction of racial stereotypes, and it certainly was not the birthplace of racially insensitive content. It can be argued that the offensive stereotypes found in these cartoons were first shaped by the popular minstrel shows of the 1800s, where white actors would use blackface to comically portray stereotypical African Americans. And not just the African American community came under fire from these cartoons. It was also the wartime era, a time when propaganda was rampant. While not part of the Censored 11, cartoons like Disney's Der Führer's Face and Popeye's You're a Sep, Mr. Jap were also products of their times. They also depicted racially offensive caricatures, yet were widely accepted as they were designed to demonize a common enemy. Of course, later down the line, they would be considered racist and unfit for television. The Censored 11 cartoons are not much different. They were celebrated and beloved in their time, yet unacceptable for screens in the modern world. Coal Black and the Seven Dwarfs, released on January 16, 1943, was directed by Bob Clampett and produced by Leon Schlesinger. This Merry Melodies installment was a bold undertaking, even in its time. Known for its rapid-fire humor, technical brilliance, and jazz-infused soundtrack, Coal Black garnered substantial attention and praise. This jazz-based parody of Walt Disney's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs regularly comes up in debate as one of the finest cartoons to ever hit television screens. Another short, Tin Pan Alley Cats, premiered on July 17, 1943, and was also directed by Bob Clampett. This cartoon was lauded for its exploration of jazz and experimental animation. However, what made Tin Pan Alley Cats a standout also led to its downfall. The cartoon drew sharp criticism for its portrayal of racial stereotypes, particularly those tied to African American culture and jazz musicians of that era. While both shorts are filled with racial caricatures and stereotypes of African Americans, director Bob Clampett was good friends with the icons and legends of the Los Angeles jazz scene, on which every character was based. He even fought to have some of the original musicians perform on the soundtracks for these two cartoons instead of the usual Warner Brothers approved orchestra. Next, we have Clean Pastures, a Merry Melodies installment released on May 22, 1937. Directed by Friz Freleng at the iconic Termite Terrace studio, this cartoon was welcomed by audiences as yet another chapter in the successful Merry Melodies saga. Clean Pastures' problems again center around its racially insensitive depictions, employing derogatory stereotypes and blackface portrayals. Then we have Angel Puss as the only Looney Tunes cartoon on this list. It was released on June 3, 1944, and directed by animation giant Chuck Jones. This cartoon stands as a stark reflection of the era in which it was born. The main character is a blackface Lil Sambo type with common racial stereotypes in speech, intelligence, and fear of the supernatural. And despite the comedic genius of Chuck Jones and the iconic status of the Looney Tunes series, Angel Puss is a testament to the cultural blind spots that existed during the 1940s. Like many of its contemporaries, the cartoon incorporated racial stereotypes that are now unacceptable. Today, while Angel Puss is acknowledged for its place in animation history, it also serves as a poignant reminder of the need for cultural awareness and sensitivity in all forms of media. Even Bugs Bunny was featured in a censored 11 cartoon. All This and Rabbit Stew, released on September 13, 1941, was directed by Tex Avery and produced by Leon Schlesinger. Again, this cartoon was deemed too racially insensitive to remain on our screens and was removed along with the rest of the censored 11. Okay, so why not just edit the cartoons? Simply put, these cartoons are so infused with controversial content that any editing would completely ruin the story and leave behind an empty shell. It's easy to edit a single scene or collection of scenes from a show if they are not integral to the story. The problem arises when the reasons for censorship are too intensive. That was the case with the censored 11, which is why they were removed altogether. It was simply the easier option, as the editing wouldn't leave enough of the show. All of these cartoons were set for re-release by Warner Brothers in 2010, uncut and unedited, but this project was later shelved indefinitely due to the rapid decline of previous Looney Tunes Platinum Collection sales and the changing landscape of racial sensitivities. The Censored 11, created by legendary directors like Tex Avery, Bob Clampett, and Friz Freleng, were groundbreaking in their animation techniques and comedic timing. While they have been censored due to outdated and insensitive depictions, they are historical artifacts reflecting the sensibilities of their time, while also showcasing the incredible artistic talent that went into their creation. They should be preserved in their historical context and not erased forever in an effort to hide from our past. All are still available to view online with a little searching, so have a look for yourself. Have you ever seen any of these cartoons? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this episode enlightening, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the classics. From all of us here at Rerun Zone, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.